Welcome back. Chapter 4, Section B. Factors influencing changes in demand by shifting in demand curve. In this video, we will be diving into the key factors that influence changes in demand and how they cause shifts in demand curve. We will break down what causes demand to increase or decrease from changes in consumer preferences, income levels, and so on. Understanding these factors is very important for analyzing market behavior and predicting how external influence can affect demand for a product or service. Whether you are studying for an exam or just curious about the economics, this video we will give you a clear overview of demand curve shifts. So let's look at it together. Factors influencing changes in demand by shifting the demand curve. Until this moment, we know that the most basic factors that will lead to the shift in demand, the amount of demand, is price, in the way that if we have the price in the y-axis or vertical axis, and when we have the quantity in the x-axis or horizontal axis, and we have the demand curve in this shape, in the decline shape, whenever the price is increased, we will decrease in the amount of quantity. In fact, we have an inverse relationship between price and quantity of demand. And whenever the price is decreased, the demand quantity is increased as well. So when price increase, the quantity decrease. When price decrease, the quantity will increase. There was a inverse relationship, but the point is here we show this relationship in single demand curve, and the demand curve experienced no change in this condition, in this basic condition in fact. But there was a sixth condition that in them the demand curve will shift. But what is this condition? First, prices of substitutes. Second, price of complements. Third, changes in consumer incomes. 4. Fashion tastes and preferences. 5. Demographics, and finally external shocks. Let's analyze each of these factors and their effect on shifting on demand curve together. Price of substitutes and their impact on demands. Before we analyze together the effect of price of substitutes and shift on demand curves, we need to know what is the meaning by substitutes. So substitutes are alternative goods that can satisfy the same consumer needs. For example, the Coca-Cola and Pepsi-Cola can be considered as a substitute products, where Pepsi-Cola can be goods as alternative goods for Coca-Cola. But what is the effect of substitute goods on the original goods? A drop or decrease in price of substitutes lead to an increase in its quantity demanded, which can reduce the demand for the original products. For example, if the price of Pepsi-Cola is decreased, the quantity of the demand for Pepsi-Cola is increased. So the final quantity for or original products, that in this case or original products is Coca-Cola, is decreased as well. So if the price of substitutes decrease, the demand quantity for original product is decreased. And also in the other direction, if the price of substitutes increase, the quantity of the demanded for the original products is increase as well. In fact, between the substitutes and the amount of original products is a direct relationship. The availability of close substitutes means that change in the prices can significantly shift the demand curve for the original products and impacting sales and market dynamics. But how we can show this relationship in demand curve? Let's see it together. Here we have two figures together, and we want to consider together two alternatives. When the price of substitutes in our case is increased, the quantity of demand for original products, or in this case Coca-Cola, is increased as well because there is a direct relationship. And I want to show this increase on demand figure. So I want to show that in the standard mode where or y-axis or vertical axis is show the price and the horizontal axis or x-axis show the quantity of the demand. So the price is increase, the quantity of original products is increase. Generally we show the increase by shifting the demand curve to right. So here we have demand curve for the original conditions. When the quantity experience increase for Coca-Cola, and demand curve also shows the demand for Coca-Cola. So the demand, this increase in the demand of Coca-Cola is shown by shifting this curve to right. And we have a new demand curve for Coca-Cola that is shifted to the right, and as you can see in the same price here we have experience in the demand quantity from Q1 to Q2. Let's look at the second scenario together. When the price of substitutes is decreased, the price of Pepsi Cola is decreased and lead to a decrease as well in the amount of original products. In our case is Coca-Cola. Here we have the next figure for demand, and we have the price in y-axis and the quantity in x-axis, and also we show the original demand here. When the price of substitutes decrease, the quantity of original products decrease as well, and we show the decrease by shifting the demand curve to left. So I want to shift this demand curve to left, and we have new demand curve for Coca-Cola, and as you can see in the same price we have experienced a decrease in the amount of demand quantity from Q1 to Q2. This is a way that we show the effect of changing substitutes on the amount of demand quantity on original product. The next item is complementary goods. Complementary goods are the products that consume together, such as cornflakes and meals, or cars and car insurance. In fact, an increase in the price of one complementary goods leads to decrease in demand for the counterparts. For example, a rise in the price of printers may reduce the demand for ink cartridges as well, or increase the price of milk will lead to decrease the demand quantity of cornflakes. And in the other side of the stories, decrease in the price of milk will lead to increase in the demand of cornflakes as well. So in fact, in the complementary goods and the original goods, there is inverse relationship between complementary goods and original goods. So the relationship between complementary goods in the demand for one goods is decreased when the price of complemented is increased, and vice versa is inverse relationship. But how we can show this relationship in demand curve together? Here again we have two figures, and I want to have price in y-axis and demand quantity on horizontal axis or x-axis. Let's look at the first scenario. When the price of complementary goods is decreased, the quantity of the demand quantity of original products experience increase, and we show this increase by shifted demand curve to right. So here we have original demand curve. After the experiencing of this increase because of price of complementary good experience decrease, the demand curve shift to right. and we show the new demand curve under the name of D1. So in the same price, as you can see, we experience an increase in the amount of demand from Q1 to Q2. Second condition, when we experience an increase in the price of complementary goods. So as you know, there is an inverse relationship between complementary goods and the quantity of the original goods. So original goods, here the demand of original goods quantity experienced a decrease because the price of complementary goods was increased. And we show this decrease in the demand quantity of original goods, but shifting the demand curve to left. So here our original demand curves, and we shift it to the left because we want to show a decrease in the amount of demand quantity for original goods. And here we have a new demand curve. Here we have the price in the y-axis, and here we have the quantity in x-axis. And as you can see, in the same price, we have experienced the quantity from the quantity 1 to quantity 2. So the amount is decreased because the price of complementary goods is increased. Next element that will lead to the shift to demand curves to show decrease or increase in the amount of demand in same price is consumer income. The amount of money that people earn or their income has a significant influence on the quantity and variety of goods they purchase. Generally, when consumer income rise, the demand for goods also increase. Whenever your income is rise, your demands also increase. But the relationship is a little bit more complicated, and it could be divided to the two different goods, normal goods and inferior goods. First, normal goods. These are products for which demand increase as consumer income increase. So whenever the consumer income increase, the demand quantity for normal goods also increase. Mass goods in the economy falls into this category, including luxury items, branded products, and higher quality services. The second groups are inferior goods. In contrast, inferior goods are those for which demand decreases when income rises. So the inferior goods are the goods when the income of customers or consumer increase, the quantity of them is decreased for inferior goods. These are typically lower quality or budget-friendly options that consumers may opt for when their financial situation is constrained. So as income increases, consumers often shift their preference toward higher quality alternatives. But how we can show this relationship in shifting the demands? General roles are not changed. Look at here, we have again price in y-axis and demand quantity in x-axis. And we show the increase in demand by shifting the demand curve to the right. If the products is normal goods, income increase lead to increase in the quantity of the demand for normal goods. And we show also the decrease in the quantity of the demand by shifting it to the left. So as you can see, in the same price, we have decrease in quantity. And here also as well, we have the same price, we have increase in the quantity. If the income of consumer increase and products is inferior, the total demand for inferior goods is decreased, and we show it by shifting the demand curve to left. Thank you for your attention.